Hey everybody, welcome to my channel as a married man. I want to thank you for tuning in today and checking it out. I totally appreciate it. So, today's article is titled, What is the Ballerina Farm Controversy? Some viewers feel an influencer's rustic homesteading videos don't add up with her family's stratospheric wealth. That's a lot. That was the entire title, guys. It's a long one. All right. But anyways, this article, it was featured in Business Insider and it was written by Geoff Weiss. So I just want to make sure I give a shout out to the author and the article source and everything. And if you guys want to check this article out and, give it a read, I'll include a link for you in the bio. So actually, the other day, I kind of walked in, I guess you can say, on a heated debate on Twitter, or I guess it's called X now. It was the other day, and I kind of popped in on a conversation thread some people were having. They were arguing about this woman whose name is Hannah Nealman and her Ballerina Farms content. So basically, I got interested. I did some research, and I came upon this article here, the one I'm about to review, which sums it up fairly well. And I'd like to give my thoughts on it as at the end as well on this whole Ballerina Farm subject. As a married man. So the article, it starts by telling a little bit about a woman whose name is Hannah Nealman. She's a mother of eight. She's a former pageant queen. She's a graduate from the Juilliard Academy and a former ballerina. And she's now what is known as a farm influencer. That's a new one to me. Not an influencer, she's a farm influencer. And Hannah Nealman, she's amassed more than 15,000 followers. I'm sorry, 15 million followers across Instagram and TikTok. That's wow, that's insane to even think about. Like I think my channel hasn't even broken double digits yet. It's just that's actually kind of sad now I think about it. But oh, don't forget to subscribe and like everybody. I appreciate it. Gonna set my goal for 15.1 million now that I know Hannah's got me beat by a few. But I have. So in the TikTok video, this one with about 180 million views, Neilman, who is known to millions as Ballerina Farm, she she cooks meatball subs from scratch, with homemade mozzarella and homemade sourdough. Like, damn, like I love meatball subs. Like even I got my daughter into loving meatball subs, but us simple plebs, we we have to use frozen meatballs and ragu sauce and store brand provolone cheese for hours. I can't imagine making everything from scratch or God forbid having the time. I think if I asked my wife to make me something from scratch, I'd get the business. But anyways, so sorry to go off on a tangent there about meatball subs. The article it goes on to say in recent years, some viewers have they've sensed something amiss under the surface, like a dissonance between her homespun brand of content and the quote stratospheric wealth of her father-in-law, David Nealman. At one point, her father-in-law owned 11 million shares in JetBlue, which I read later on. He founded like three airlines. This guy, JetBlue, Azul, and there's one other. But this stock that he owned in JetBlue, it was worth $112 million. Me, for example, I own 0.6% of a share of Netflix. So, um, I will say I did buy it when the Netflix stock price kind of crashed, and I am proud to say my 0.6% of one share is worth more than what I paid for it. So I guess that should make me happy. But basically, Hannah comes from, well, she married into enormous wealth, apparently. So she's a child of privilege, as was her husband. And the article, it just goes on to state that the consensus is that recently, Ballerina Farm's homemaking and farm influencing content, it feels misleading, and it's even some people even consider it to be offensive, which I thought was surprising. This is all in light of her family's wealth. Um, One writer whose name is Meg Conley went on to state, quote, so many people who do live off the land and are in such a desperate state. Like when Ballerina Farms pretends that their reality is reality, um, those people are erased. And like, I can understand that, there's doing this farm fluency homemaking content at your leisure, you got the money to do it. And then there's people who are doing it just to survive. And I guess that's rubbing people the wrong way, if you know what I mean. But the article continues, and it talks once again about who is Ballerina Farm. And it goes on to kind of reiterate, like Hannah Nealman, she's a former pageant queen. As I said earlier, she's a Juilliard graduate. I know Juilliard to be a pretty prestigious academy, music academy, I guess, or arts, music and arts. Um, and she's also a Mormon from Utah, as is her husband. Um, Both were raised apparently as city kids, but have subsequently settled on a farm in, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, Kamas, Utah. She owns a big swath of land out there. Um, According to their official site, which happens to vend subscription boxes of meat, ready to bake goods, and a coterie of lifestyle products. So, um, getting back to what I was saying earlier, like the Twitter feud I kind of walked in on the other day, uh, one person pointed out that she sells her famous sourdough bread kits. She sells these sourdough bread kits for $89, the one she was using for her meatball subs. I was drooling over her. And another commenter on this Twitter beef was stating that posted a link to buy her $750 Williams Sonoma bread maker, which she also used to make her sourdough. So like, basically, you can see where people are starting to question this farm influencer and how she's living the high life out there with her. And God forbid, $750 for a bread maker. Or yeah, God, I can't even imagine paying $89 for sourdough. Um, but this Ballerina Farm brand, as I was stating, it has a huge Instagram and a giant TikTok following. I just know it's more than 9 followers, which makes me pretty jealous right now. But you know, with all these, with this giant following she has and the popularity that's has grown over time, Hannah Nealman, she's considered part of the trad wives genre, believe it or not. And the trad wife genre is basically women creators who romanticize a return to They romanticize a return to traditional ideals. Uh, and this kind of took off post-COVID, when everyone's locked at home. It gained popularity. And this kind of lifestyle, it also overlaps with Christian fundamental beliefs, which I don't see a problem with. I really dig the trad wife and having a strong religious belief. That's part of my whole shtick as a married man. I think that's a healthy thing, so can't really complain about that there. But the article, it goes on to focus basically more about the recent controversy, which kind of has Hannah in the spotlight right now, and she's in the hot seat at the moment. And this controversy I'm talking about is it happened after the birth of her eighth child. And once again, as a married man, I think big families are great. Proud of you, Hannah, for having eight children and counting. And that's a Mormon thing as well. But this controversy surrounding Hannah, it kind of rose to a crescendo after the birth of this eighth kid. Uh, at the time, uh, Hannah Nealman, she was documenting her quote, postpartum pageant prep for the Mrs. American competition. So we're not talking about like Miss Universe or Miss America, where this is Mrs. America, and this is a pageant for married contestants. And Hannah so happened to have won last year's competition. Congratulations, Hannah. Hannah, but she was set to compete, believe it or not. She was set to compete 10 days after giving birth. Um, ouch. Like I remember when my wife was, I came home from the hospital, she had to do the whole C-section thing and then the crying kid and husband playing Silent Hill 2 nonstop and the pain she was in, like she was laid up in bed for a good while. So thinking of a woman who gave birth and then went through a rigorous like eating and exercise regimen in order to actually compete in a pageant after 10 days after giving birth. That's even as a married man, that's impressive. Like, but that kind of it raised the ire of a lot of women, if you can dig it. A lot of women, a lot of men, a lot of people in general just took notice, like, what the fuck? How'd you do that? And then of course people pointed out, that's what privilege and wealth kind of buys you, I guess. Like you can afford to the way she made it look so easy. That's all just the result of to afford to, you know what I mean? But the article continues and it sums things up by talking about another TikTok creator, and this is one who critiques Ballerina Farm and with the controversy that just stirred up around her. And this woman who has 400,000 views on this critique article, she states that um, her gripe is that Nealman's life isn't subject to the same stakes as other farmers or homesteaders because it isn't tied to direct financial stress. And a lot of people agree. Um, like a lack of financial worry makes literally everything in life easier to handle. It, word. Let me reread that. A lack of financial worry makes literally everything in life easier to handle. That's like the gospel truth right there. You know what I mean? Um, Store brand provolone cheese and frozen meatballs over here. Like, ah, so that's basically that sums up most of the controversy around this Hannah Nealman is just the fact that she's living this trad wife dream with the financial security in which to make it happen, and she makes it look so easy and effortless, and just the fact that she's competing in a beauty pageant 10 days after giving birth, and like it's rubbing people the wrong way. Um, that about simplifies everything, breaks it down. To end the article though, there were some of these farm influencers. There were some other TikTok influencers and whatnot who they did give Hannah some credit for. She worked her butt off. She doesn't live very lavishly, according to them. Even with her family's big safety net. And these people who do come to Hannah's defense, they chalk up most of the criticism to like simple jealousy. But uh, but I just wanted to mention I did read in another article, and that I read like 6 articles, guys, on Hannah and Ballerina forums, and some of these articles went on to state uh, I I'm sorry. They one of some of these articles they went on to state how she before she bought this land in Utah for like $3 million, she lived in Brazil for a couple of years. And yeah, she actually purchased this plot of land in Utah, $2.75 million. And another article stated that Hannah, I guess she uses a cast iron stove, and it's featured pretty prominently in some of her videos. And this the stove itself is worth about $20,000. Um, so she's this trad wife is like wanting for nothing, if you know what I mean. There's like zero struggle there. Like $89 sourdough kits and et cetera, et cetera. But like just knowing all that about Hannah and stuff, it's you can see why people criticize her and her whole traditional country life, trad wife little bit that she's playing on social media. But anyways, as a married man, what is my opinion about all this? Um, I'll be honest, like until like I walked in on that Twitter feud, I knew nothing about her. I knew nothing about Ballerina Farms. Um, I don't have TikTok or Instagram. Uh, Probably why I have a relatively obscure channel. So yeah, so I don't know a lot about this influencer or farm influencer, as she's known. I do, however, know about trad wives, and believe it or not, yeah, Hannah Nealman, Ballerina Farms, she is considered to be a trad wife, the model trad wife, to be honest. So, like in the manosphere, to quote it, like where I hang out, like the red pill MTOW style men's relationship channels, the blogs I read, the podcasts I listen to, the places where I kind of get my info and share my 2 cents. I do know that in these places, these red pill dominated places, a trad wife is pretty much considered a unicorn. You know what I mean? Like even my MTEL brothers will admit, like trad wives are rare. They're unicorns. They're rare. They're not extinct, but you gotta look very hard for them. Uh, I guess that's me admitting to the fact unicorns exist. But anyways, Yeah, trad wives are considered unicorns and amongst the male relationship community. Um, basically, guys dig trad wives. A lot of them won't admit it. Like a lot of these straight red pill dudes will lament on and they'll rail against marriage, but they will give props to the trad wife because what the trad wife represents, you have to understand, is that they're the complete antithesis of what an feminist woman is, you know? Um, there's feminism, which is the blue pill, and there's MTOW, which is the red pill. And yeah, the trad wife's on our team, so to speak. She's the red pill wife that we all want and can't find. You know, though that woman of the 50s, that stay-at-home wife, the one that cooks and cleans and she raises her children, she supports her husband, she makes the home, you know. Um, it's just a simple traditional wife is all a trad wife is. Yeah, traditional wife and a traditional family. And I think a lot of guys, even the red pill M towers, I think they want it deep down. Um, and I totally I love trad wives. I think they're great. I am. I, I don't think that it's hard to diss a woman who wants to just return to traditional values, who wants to put her husband first and her children and her family. That's the kind of wife any man desires. You know, as a married man, um, like I will say, like as an outlier, like as a sitting on the sidelines type of view set that I have on love and relationships. Like that's kind of where my channel's at. I'm in the middle there between the red and the blue. Um, I will say like, yeah, I'll reiterate like men do want women like Hannah Nealman and men do want trad wives, which Hannah Nealman represents, um, because they're rare and because they're hard to get and hard to find. It's hard to find a woman who isn't tainted by that feminist ideology, especially in the dating market nowadays, which is, you know, kind of a sad reality, you know. For every feminist woman, there's a man that abandons the relationship um, mindset. He goes his own way, and yeah, that's why relationships in general are disintegrating. But Hannah's a representation of you know, what relationships can be. Men might not watch her, but women do. She has 50 million audience of women and men, and that's just a yearning from lovers, from men and women who want love and relationships. That's just a yearning for them to want to. They're just looking on the outside, looking in, so to speak, on this life that they wish they could have, and that's yeah, it's kind of sad in my opinion. Like I don't have a trad wife life, you know. I wish I did. I wish I could afford it, I guess. Budget. Apologize for rambling there. Uh, Getting back to Ballerina Farms. Um, as I said, like yeah, Hannah's apparently like she's the apex trad wife, the farm influencer, and she does have a lot of haters, unfortunately. Like as I said early in the article, she went to Juilliard. She lived in Brazil with her wealthy husband, and it's there where they found their quote unquote passion for farming and the slow rural life. The $3 million ranch. I just wanted to point out real quick, there was someone in one of the articles I read that accused Hannah of cosplaying as a trad wife. And yeah, I thought that was a kind of an interesting take. There's none of the struggle there, but like all the benefits. But I'll come to a complete stop here. Let me end this, but I've been ranting too much. Just as a let me end things here. Like as a simple married man, like red pilled a bit, not emped out, of course, but I had that mindset on certain issues. I do love marriage and love and children and the family, and I understand all the importance for all of that. And I think Hannah just kind of represents that to a degree. And I think some people are jealous, some people are envious, some people like they really dig her for it, others resent her for it. But I do understand at the same time, as much as I love the tribe wife and homestead families. I know a lot of people who do resent Hannah or criticize her are people who are struggling financially. Like they're not drinking cow's milk unpasteurized because it's like it's glamorous, it's chic or whatever. They're not eating farm fresh eggs because it's a cool thing to do. That's survival, that's life and death to them. That's their food budget right there. So, here comes Hannah with the $20,000 cast iron oven and $750 bread maker, trying to sell you $90 sourdough bread kits. Like, I, I understand why people get like resentful quick on her. But let me know what you guys think. Um, as a married man, I understand wanting a tried wife, like, and not being able to find one. Like, my wife had unfortunately returned to work after she had her kid. Our kid, if we didn't have the finances, um, I know a lot of women out there, they're working, they as wage slaves, and they're totally dissatisfied with their lives. They work through their youth in jobs that are just thankless. They're stuck in that 9 to 5 grind. And I think Hannah kind of represents the woman they kind of wish they could be to a degree. At least that's my thoughts. And of course, Hannah represents the woman that I'll go ahead and say it. Every guy wants a woman like, kind of like Hannah, the attractive, beautiful, down to earth, talented, educated, the homemaker. Um, yeah, every guy wants a woman like that, to a degree, every woman kind of wants to be a woman like that. I might take flack for saying that, but whatever. But just more importantly, let me know what you guys have to say about all this. Just leave your thoughts. Leave me a comment. To be honest, in all the videos I have, I don't think I have one comment yet. So just give me a comment about anything, man. I appreciate it. Don't forget to give this video a like. For the love of God, subscribe to my channel. I got 15.1 million subscribers I need to make so I could beat Hannah. And just help me by sharing on the video, spreading the message. If you do want to hit me up in an email, my email address is asamarriedman@outlook.com. And I really appreciate you guys hanging in there and listening to my 2 cents. If you got a good meatball sub recipe, let me know. If you got 15 million subscribers, let me know. Need my Venmo, let me let me anyways, guys, I'll catch you later. Bye for now.